I just noticed that Ghost Rider 2 is out there. Hello, Ghost Warrior 2. Hello, Ghost Warrior. So nice to have you here. So let's talk about where these planets are tonight, okay? Well, the first thing I want to say is that the Sun and Mercury are exactly conjunct. Did you hear me, guys? The Sun and Mercury are exactly conjunct in Scorpio. Oh, yeah, Scorpio. And here's the thing. Because, Mercury's going backwards because the Sun's at 2 degrees, Mercury's at 3, but Mercury's retrograding. So it's going toward that exact conjunction with the Sun. And the thing is, Mercury's retrograding. So a lot of us, we're talking about the Sun. The Sun is being activated by a retrograding planet, which is Mercury. And I think our thought processes are a little slow. I know mine are. I think some people might be sleeping a lot. I know I am. I think some people might find it difficult to get going. I know I am. You might be late to appointments. Mm-hmm. Computers might crash. Yeah. Electricity may go out. Uh-huh. Cars may stall. You may find that there's issues with bank cards, credit cards, alarms, communication of all kind. Like you might have a conversation or be in the midst of a conversation and you're talking and someone is completely interpreting you in the wrong way. Like you're like, oh, so what you mean is da 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 da, and you're thinking, but in no time did I ever say da 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 da. Like, where did you get that? So this could be, and this could happen. If it occurs, don't get frustrated. Realize we're in the midst of a Mercury retrograde, which is sitting on top of the Sun, and it's in Scorpio. So the thing about Scorpio is Scorpio likes to get deep into things. Like it likes to uncover things. It likes to find information. It likes to searching, digging for information. The issue is because Mercury's retrograding on the Sun in Scorpio, the information you get may not even come through clearly. It may come through in a form of gobbledygook that makes no sense. I've got so much information and everything I've tried to open, one completely almost demolished my computer. So this is Mercury retrograde. This is what we can expect right before Halloween, right during Halloween season. Isn't that nice? I would be really cautious about any, Halloween activities with Mercury retrograde. At least it'll be pulling off of the Sun, and that's good. But here's what's happening. Uranus is retrograde in Taurus. It's at 8 degrees, so it's about 6 degrees away from all the action, 5 to 6 degrees. Problem is it's retrograding too. So it's moving toward an exact opposition. In other words, it's aspecting, which means it's stronger. And so the Sun is now officially opposed Uranus. And Mercury is officially opposed to Uranus. So yeah, energy low. Communication bad. You might be communicating, but I don't know if everyone's getting what you're saying. You may be communicating, but some of the things you're trying to say aren't coming through right. There's a lot going on. So be aware of this. Mercury retrograde can be really not that bad sometimes, depending on the sign it's in, or it can be devastating, depending on the sign it's in. For me, this is happening in my 9th house, which is higher learning, higher knowledge, education, and it's really affecting everything for me, right? Like, I called 911 again, the 3rd time I've called 911 in less than 6 weeks. 3rd time in less than 6 weeks. I usually don't call 911 ever. And this is, to me, a reflection of what's going on. So one of the other things happening is that the moon right now, yesterday, the day before, most likely tomorrow, is square Jupiter at 20 degrees of Capricorn. And the moon's at 21 degrees, so it's separating, and which is good. But the last few days have been hell for a lot of people. And if you wondered why, it's because the moon was square Jupiter, exactly. But here's the issue. As that moon treks forward in Libra, it now is square Pluto. So the moon square Pluto is nothing nice. There could be a lot of gaslighting. Just keeping it real. It's a power trip, man. It's emotional power trip. Somebody might even try to pull that emotional power play on you, use the emotional power trip, lies. We're talking Libra. Lies and deception. The Capricorn's going to come down with authority. It's Pluto. The sun's in Scorpio. It's going to find you out. If you're lying, you've been found out, right? If you've been lying or someone's been lying to you, I know you done saw it, right? You done figured that lie out. And so this would not be a good time to lie right now, because I think there's going to be some ability to see through, or at least cause stress between that Libra moon and Pluto, Capricorn, Pluto. Also, Capricorn Saturn is now in motion for the square as well. So Pluto and Saturn are ganging up on the moon. Let's just keep it real. So authority and tradition and reserve and whatever is square. Partnerships. It is. Or even diplomacy. Even diplomacy could be a problem right now, because you may be extending the hand of fairness or justice or diplomacy, but the other person might be thinking something horrendous, and it's just not going to pan out until we can get beyond this square. It just isn't a pleasant square. So, yeah. The moon's being flanked by Capricornian planets in a attack mode. Okay, so just be aware that the moon's being attacked. I don't know how to put it any other way. The moon's being attacked. They're attacking the moon with viciousness, by the way. Like, darn that fake diplomacy. By the way, I gotta say this, some people are seeing the fakeness. I won't even go into it, because we all know what happened with the last debates. The last debates didn't help nobody. I'm just saying, but the lies, everybody saw through the lies. You can't lie right now. We're in the middle of an election. People can see things. So that kind of thing is happening. Now, on the other side of this moon in Libra, we've had Mars retrograding in Aries. Now, it is at 17 degrees, and so the moon has pulled away from that horrible opposition. This week, like I said, has been hell. That Mars retrograde in Aries opposing the moon in Libra was nothing nice. I don't know how many other people called the paramedics this week, right? It was that kind of week. Now, I happen to be a double Capricorn, so it just set up a T-square with me. But, some others, if you're Libra, Capricorn, a Cancer, an Aries, some of you guys might have had a stressful week too. It's been stressful. Venus is at 26 degrees of Virgo. It's technically in a square with, the North Node, but the North Node is separating. It's at 21 degrees, but going backwards, of course. It is, by the way, the North Node exactly trine the moon. So the moon does have the support of the North Node. But here's the thing. That Mars in Aries has really made this month rough. It's been hard for a lot of people. I have a brother who is literally fighting for his life on a ventilator right now, who has Aries rising. He's a Scorpio. He's born on the 3rd, and I'm just praying that he'll revitalize now that we're in Scorpio season, but his Scorpio is in the 8th house, so I'm worried about my brother. But yeah, this opposition, this Mars opposed the moon this past week has been ugly. And the Mars opposed Libra all month has been ugly. And so we're recovering from that, but we're still dealing with a few squares. Like technically, I'm going to give Mars and Jupiter still square because it's like what, 2, not even quite 3 degrees apart. So that's still squaring. That Mars Jupiter square and the moon or Jupiter opposed the moon. That T square has been ugly. We've had the ugliest T squares. I'm just trying to keep it nice, but the T squares have kicked our arses. I don't know how many. I'm glad to be alive. I'm glad I'm not on a ventilator. I'm glad I still have a home. I'm glad my electricity came back on. I'm not freezing to death. But I know it's been hard for more than just me. It's been a tough freaking week. It's been a tough freaking month. Okay? So be aware that if you've been going through a little something, don't beat yourself up. It's not you. It is the planets. Lord, we're in a T square. So, and we were in a cardinal grand square just a week ago. Ugly. It's been ugly. So Neptune is at 18 degrees of Pisces. And that 18 degrees of Pisces, well, it's still technically sextile Jupiter. We've been really lucky with Neptune and Jupiter sextile. We've been flirting back and forth between that sextile. Sometimes it's been a sack. Sometimes it's been, a degree or 2 apart. But we've been dealing with it all year. And it's been amazing because I think there's been a lot of creativity. But I also think it's brought a lot of confusion. And luckily now it looks like they're beginning to pull apart because Jupiter is going forward. It's in a forward motion, and Neptune is still retrograding for a little bit. So, they have pulled apart a little, but the creativity, I think, is still there. I mentioned the North Node, and now I will mention Chiron, which is at 6 degrees of Aries. And as I look, it is not making any major aspects. That's good. The less aspects to Chiron, the better. It's the wounded healer. Anywhere Chiron is, there's tears. As I do a reading, and if I want to know where someone's crying, I look for Chiron. I always can find where you're crying, because it's where the pain is. That and Saturn. Anyway, you guys, this has been Where the Planets Are, and I survived it. I made it through. Goodness gracious, I'm so happy we made it through. Okay.